Welcome to Rooted Grace. In Genesis we saw the creation and covenant, in Exodus the God who saves, in Leviticus we encountered his holiness. Now, we open the book of Numbers, named for its censuses, but it's far more than a book of names and numbers. It's a travelogue of a people set free, struggling to trust. A journey from Sinai to the Promised Land filled with rebellion, leadership, judgment, mercy, and movement. Numbers reveals not only Israel's heart, but God's heart, faithful, patient, holy, and just. Let's walk through it together. The book opens with a census, counting every man 20 years and older who can go to war. The total 603,550. God is preparing Israel not just for worship but for battle. Tribes are arranged around the tabernacle, God's presence at the center. Each has a role. The Levites are set apart for tabernacle service, replacing the firstborn as a living offering to God. This structure shows us God is a God of order. He's not chaotic. He dwells with his people and leads them with clarity. Before they can march, the people must be purified. God gives laws about restitution, faithfulness, and the Nazirite vow, set apart for deeper devotion. Then they celebrate their second Passover, remembering how God brought them out of Egypt. 2 silver trumpets are crafted. When they sound, the people will know when to move, when to gather, and when to prepare for battle. And then, the cloud lifts. The time has come to move forward. Immediately, the people begin to complain. They miss Egypt's food. They're tired of manna. Moses is overwhelmed. He cries out to God, and God provides 70 elders to share the burden. God also sends quail, but with it, judgment. Then Miriam and Aaron oppose Moses, questioning his authority. God defends Moses, and Miriam is struck with leprosy. Even leaders fall, and God calls us to humility and trust. 12 spies are sent to scout the Promised Land. They return with a glowing report, but 10 of them say, "We can't do it." Only Joshua and Caleb believe God's promise. The people panic. They want to go back to Egypt. God is grieved. He declares that this generation will not enter the land. They'll wander 40 years, 1 year for each day the spies were in Canaan. Disobedience delays destiny, but God still leads. Even in judgment, God continues to instruct his people about offerings, Sabbath, and unintentional sin. But rebellion continues. Korah, Dathan, and Abiram challenge Moses and Aaron's authority. God causes the ground to open and swallow them. A plague breaks out, stopped only when Aaron runs with incense, standing between the dead and the living. To confirm Aaron's priesthood, God causes his staff to bud, blossom, and bear fruit overnight. Leadership is God's choice, not man's. God reaffirms the duties and inheritance of the priests and Levites, but chapter 20 is tragic. Miriam dies, there's no water, the people complain again. God tells Moses to speak to the rock, but Moses strikes it twice in anger. Water flows, but God is displeased. He tells Moses, "You will not enter the Promised Land." Disobedience, even by leaders, has consequences. Then Aaron dies. A generation is fading. A new one is rising. As they journey, the people complain again. Fiery serpents invade the camp. God tells Moses to make a bronze serpent and lift it up. Whoever looks at it will live. This is a picture of Christ, lifted up to bring life. Israel defeats several enemies and draws near to Moab. Balak, the king of Moab, hires Balaam to curse Israel, but God intervenes. Balaam blesses them instead, 4 times. Numbers 24:17. One prophecy stands out. A star will come out of Jacob. A scepter will rise out of Israel, a messianic promise, Jesus the coming king. In Moab, Israel falls again into sexual immorality and idol worship. God sends a plague. Phinehas, a priest, stops it with bold action. He's rewarded with a covenant of peace. A second census is taken, 600,730 men. A new generation stands ready. God prepares Joshua to succeed Moses. Tribes are given land east of the Jordan. War is waged against Midian. Justice is served. Spoils are divided. The people are no longer slaves. They are soldiers, and they're almost home. God defines the borders of the Promised Land. Cities of refuge are established, safe havens for those who kill unintentionally. Levitical towns are given, because even those who serve must be provided for. The daughters of Zelophehad are granted inheritance. God honors their faith. Vows are addressed, showing God values words and integrity. Everything is being set in place. The journey is ending, but the mission is just beginning. Numbers is a story of failure and faithfulness. The people fail again and again, but God never abandons them. He leads with fire and cloud. He disciplines, He forgives, He instructs, He provides. Jesus is the better Moses, the one who intercedes perfectly. Jesus is the bronze serpent, the one lifted up so we can live. Jesus is the star from Jacob, the promised king. Numbers teaches us that the journey matters, trust matters, obedience matters. Even in wandering, God is working. Thank you for traveling through the book of Numbers with us. Subscribe, share, and join us next time for Deuteronomy. Stay rooted, stay faithful, stay in His grace.